great out there, guys. So I had a thought. I think so good when I'm doing this job. Well, my thought was this. Maybe my problem is that I have ADHD. I guess I'm an adult. I think so. And also they say that cluster Bs are adrenaline junkies. I was trying to think, where else have I been happy? Because I love doing this job. I'm thinking, where else have I been this happy? And I thought of it, and it comes down, I think, to just that I need to expend adrenaline. And maybe not all people need to expend adrenaline, but my hypothesis is that if you don't get adrenaline going, you're gonna get depressed, you're gonna get anxious, you're gonna get down, you're gonna get miserable. It's just my mind goes to hell as soon as I stop running on adrenaline. Okay, not immediately. I can do a come down like now, but it's got to go back up again, or else I become like a cow. You know, this is why I think there's so much mental disease around. Like, it's insane. Because like an office job, which I had for many years, and I was never happy in, didn't make sense because I love programming on my own time, my own, you know, as a contractor. But whenever I got a job, I couldn't stand it. Now I think I know why. Because when you work by yourself, you can go out every half hour as a contractor and burn off steam. When you work for someone for 8-9 hours, you're stuck. You're not creating any adrenaline. That's not a normal existence. I'm sorry. If you think about any creature on Earth, they wake up, they graze, they run, they play, they do something, you know, like to get the adrenaline going. They run on adrenaline. And we seem to run these days on stress, and that's not adrenaline. That's cortisol. And that's just like the negative adrenaline. So I was thinking, the reason why I came to this is I realized when I was a raver, I was not working very hard. So there really is nothing to that. The fact was I was always getting my adrenaline going. So I always felt good. I always felt on top of the world. And then I said, well, when was I felt this way as a worker, as an employee? 2 ways, 2 times. One, when I was a rental agent. I was a rental agent in a huge complex that had 35 stories. One tower had 35 stories, the other one had 25 stories. They were next to each other, and I was responsible for renting all the apartments, and we had so many available. And I wouldn't use the elevator, so I would get to run up and down the stairs all day long. I mean, like, people thought I was crazy, but standing in an elevator, condensed, like, I can't do it. I can't do it, guys. So, and then I thought of another one when I was a waiter. The waiter, I've always told you, is the hardest job in the world, but my God, did I love it. Did I love it. Because when it's busy, the adrenaline is flying. Everybody, except for the people who are eating, who look like fucking cows. But the workers, we are stressed. But it's like a good stress, you know, you're running on adrenaline, you're making tips everywhere, so it's a little bit like my job now where you're collecting money here and there, you know, and it's like constant dopamine hits, and you're on your feet, and you're tired at the end, you know, you feel like you've done like some actual work. Whereas all these other careers I've had, you know, all the jobs that I've had, which you could call career positions that my family and my community would be proud of me. Every last one of them, there's no adrenaline. It's sitting like a fucking log in front of a computer or on the phone or in somewhere in a factory, maybe, well, not a factory, but you know what I mean. You're lethargic in a store. You're managing. I mean, I used to work as a manager in a bar for 2 years. Obviously, it's ADHD. I'm thinking about my life now. You know, I didn't realize this. It's not for everyone what I'm talking about. This is the ADHD. I was working as a manager. And as a manager, you have a busboy, you have a waitress. After like 2 days, I told my friend who was my boss, I guess, and I said, dude, no busboy when I'm working. I cannot just stand around as a manager and give orders and watch over. I've got to do something. I said I want to be busboy also. You don't have to pay me the salary of the fucking busboy. The girls will tip me as a busboy, whatever. I just need to get... So that was it. So now I'm thinking, no wonder many of my employers really liked me. He loved me. I didn't have to pay for a busboy, and I would do a great job. And then I had a job in a real estate company as the marketing guy online, the internet guy. And also, and now I realize I couldn't take it. And I told the boss, I said, dude, I've got to rent apartments. If I sit inside the office all the time while everyone else gets to run out to rent condos and show units, and I go, I'm jealous. I go, I got to keep. So I ended up doing mostly on the road, and I did the computer stuff at home after hours on my own time. So maybe this is the problem. When my mother kind of like coddles me, it's like always to kind of make me... High-paying jobs are not really physically active. You know what I mean? Most of them. I can only think of like construction worker, which pays pretty well now, or like electrician. I know some of these guys, some friends who I was always jealous of electricians because they get to climb up, into the wires and they're hanging off like a leg. That's like a physical job that I could dig, But this, most of these, lawyer or doctor or programmer or engineer, I mean, it's crazy. You're not moving your body at all. At all. As a doctor, you're just walking like... Think about that from the perspective of any other living creature. A sloth moves like that. But they're marsupials, and we're mammals. Okay, anyways, guys, I don't know. I think I'm just going to cut this night at this point, because I think I've said enough on the topic. But, I'm glad I have this out there, because I touched my trauma again, my childhood, my adulthood, my whole thing. It was always this thing about, why don't you do this? And I was always like, I don't want to do that. But I don't think I ever realized why. It was always because I can't stand in one spot I can't be my father's salesman for seafood. Maybe if my father was a fisherman, I would have said, yeah, let's go on the high seas. That sounds like something. But to sit in an office on the phone selling seafood that's torture. I'd rather be in jail fighting, getting stabbed. At least you're alive. And I think about what my mother as a stripper. What does she do? She would just stand there. Yes, you get to dance on stage once in a while, and you get to move around, but it's like being a manager. It's in a bar. You're standing there all the time. I guess some people have that makeup, and maybe they can't understand me. Maybe that's what... Maybe people look at me and they think this guy is like crazy. He'd rather be in the garbage than be in an office. I guess it sounds crazy from the outside perspective, but when you've done both, and you know yourself and how you feel in both situations, there's no competition, man. You take the fucking office keys. You want the corner office, my good man? You sit in that corner office, you stroke your hair, you can fucking have a mirror there and put your cologne on all day. You can be Mr. Beautiful. Take the fucking corner office. All right. Goodbye. I'm going out.